Sorry, hold on. I think it's still loading.
Hang on.
Go for it.
I'll just do mine. Okay.
Welcome, Andrew. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm actually really excited to talk about this. This is our leadership lounge, you, me.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited too.
I know we're not on the same couch, but you're in Australia. I'm in the UK.
And are you sitting on a couch?
No. I couldn't get reception.
You meant to be sitting in the lounge room. I'm on my couch here, and this is our first episode around Leadership Lounge. And we talked a little bit about this. We've talked about this for a little while, but what we were really keen to do was really just talk about some stuff about leadership, okay? Like leadership challenges, leadership tips, tricks, just things that we get to experience with the amount of leaders that we work with all over the world. We've both got our org and industrial psych background, so we did that together in the early 2000s, okay? So we've known each other for a long time, and we went, why not actually have an opportunity where people can come and join us on the lounge, ask any kind of leadership question that they have, and we can answer it.
And also too, you know, A, we got the qualification, B, we got the experience, 3, we're across the research, right? But importantly, we're mates.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like us, and us kicking around what we know about leadership and the stuff that we're looking at. What do we got? 20 minutes?
We've got 20 minutes.
A great time.
Short and sharp.
Short and sharp.
And we said,
so I'm going to jump right in the deep. I'm going to jump in the deep end, right? In the deep end, right? Good. Okay. So the deep end for me is right now, and I'm talking about, and if I mention clients, right, names and industries have all changed, and if I'm talking about them, I've got permission to talk about them. Okay.
Sure.
In an anonymous context. So just for those people. Okay. Big thing that frustrates me when I work with a leader, right? Actually, let me start on a positive. One of the first things I ask a leader when I first start working with them, and I'm interested to know what you ask, right, is where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Right. You want to be a leader. Where are you going with this? What's we talk about vision. What's your vision here? Right. Yeah. Where are you going? What do you reckon? Is that something you're across? Like, do you ask that? How do you lead a leadership development stuff? What's the question that opens the door for you? That's really important to you.
Really, it's actually a really great point, because I'm just working with a new client at the moment, okay, and my first question was, what's your vision? Where are you going? And not only just where are you going as a leader, but where's the business going? Okay, if we think about vision, it really is where are we going as a organisation? What do we want to be? What's the flag on the hill? And what I often find with businesses is they have this overarching vision, don't they? Every company, or most.
You think they would.
Well, you think they would. They should have a vision, but that vision, the big organisation's vision. But I really help leaders around the vision of the team that they're leading. Like, where are you going? The flag on the hill for the vision for the team, but also as you're talking about the vision for you as a leader.
Yeah. And this sort of really lends itself to things like vision, mission, values, principles, that sort of stuff, right? Probably about 12 months ago, I went into work with a big company, right? And they got their vision and mission statement done, right? And it's written on the wall in the foyer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I say to the leader, what's the vision for this company? So you're saying, what's your personal vision? What's the vision for the company? What's the vision for this company? And he said, I've got it written down. I'll just grab it. I said, no. I'll just grab it. Right? Like, shouldn't he or she know that?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a really important point, because we want a vision for the company, but then each division should have their own vision, because they all do something different, don't they? They have a different purpose for each of the divisions, whether you're sales, operations, administration, doesn't matter what it is. There's a different vision for that particular organisation. But I think what also is so important, and what you're saying is every person should be connected to the vision, shouldn't they? Okay, so
absolutely.
He has to look at what it is. Is he really connected? Is he living that? Probably not.
So the connection piece is really important, right? And I'll give it a context here. A little while back, as you know, I was, and if you're watching this on replay or watching it live, you may not know, but I was chairman of a children's charity, right? And when I went in and I'm looking at their paperwork for their vision and mission, right, I lost the will to live, because it was incomprehensible what the vision and the mission were, right, for a start-off. So for me as a leader, I'm coming in as the leader of that organisation. They're telling us this is what our vision is. And I ask people, what's the vision of this charity? And people say, oh, I've got it written down. No, just tell me what the vision is. Don't look it up. Tell me what the vision is. Where are we going with this, And there was a real confusion around this mission, vision, blah, 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 but they didn't even have this clear picture. So the starting point for me on mission was, well, what do I see you doing every day?
Yeah.
What are we up to? Mission, every day. Oh, every day we're safeguarding vulnerable children.
Yeah.
That's what you'll see. So Crisis in London is a charity set up for the homeless, right? Homelessness is a big problem globally, right? What's your mission for Crisis? Every night we're giving someone a bed, somewhere to sleep. That's what you'll see us doing every single day, right? And so it's really, really super easy to understand our mission, right? I was the strategic advisor for the Mahler Foundation, which is Gustav Mahler, the composer. What's the mission? And it was incomprehensible, right? And I don't think they'd be offended by me saying that. But the mission was to promote the legacy of Gustav Mahler, right? So if you know Mahler's Fifth, for example, he was not only a conductor, he was an incredible musician, but he was also an environmentalist, right? So there was those three elements. So every day you see us promoting the legacy of Gustav Mahler. What's the vision? The vision for the charity, and I'll start with that one, they couldn't tell me what the vision, where we're going with this.
Yeah.
So my point was, okay, give me the backstory to this charity, right? Why are we in this industry? What do we know we're safeguarding kids every day, but what do we want? And it came down to this: we want to be recognised as the go-to resource in the UK for attachment play therapy in the next 12 months.
Nice, yes.
Right?
Yeah. You make a good point.
So everyone got on board with that vision. They got on board with that. Right?
Yeah. And two things I hear from that is, one, our mission or purpose. Why do we exist? That's why we exist. Okay, but the vision. What is the future? Where's
where are we going next?
That's right. Okay, so we've got vision, mission, purpose. Okay, really, really important. But you know what I love about that, and I know there's a question coming through, so I know RG will tell us what that question is in a moment. But the other point you make,
it's a good question, by the way. Yeah, keep going.
The other point you make, and I love it, is that when everyone can connect to that mission or that purpose or that vision, guess what?
Yeah.
Everyone knows what to do. Everyone knows the part they play. They go, right, okay. Yeah. They're more empowered to make better decisions. They're more driven. They're engaged. They're more motivated. Okay, so having, think of something as simple as, we know it's a sentence or a statement, but that can move mountains for people. So I'll let me tell you what the question is.
The question's a great one. It's from Bernie, and Bernie says, what are your thoughts on psychological safety? Bernie, I've got lots of thoughts on psychological safety. Lots and lots. I think Bernie, you give me a thumbs up if we got this right or not, but I think you're referring to the Google's Aristotle project, where psychological safety is the number one thing. And it sort of relates to, as a leader, which is really, really interesting, because as a leader, you'd say, okay, how do I get an effective team? Which is what you just made that point earlier, right? How do we build an effective team? And so Google did all this research over a long period of time, multi different locations around the planet. They found that psychological safety, if you want an effective team, right, you've got that your team have got to sense they're psychologically safe in that role.
Yeah.
There's four others, right? Meaning and purpose. Are we making a difference? Those sort of things. But what was interesting was the Aristotle project is about what does an effective team look like? But the Oxygen project is, what does an effective leader running that team look like?
Yeah, two separate,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, which I love though, is that nice balance up there. Yeah. So I know what my thoughts are around psychological safety. Yeah, it goes right to culture, goes to your whole thing about team. So back to the charity. Go back to the charity. I also came up with this idea of what's our platform. So for me, my platform was childhood is precious.
Yeah.
Right. And the vision aligns to that platform. Right.
Yeah.
So I was saying, and if you don't get that, you can't work here. If you don't get that childhood's precious, right? And to put a fine point on it, I was invited to be a trustee on a charity in Germany that literally stares evil in the face, and it's the trafficking of children, right?
Oh.
And I couldn't do it. It broke my heart to do it, right? But for me, it really, really consolidated that childhood's precious. That's what we're in service to. So it's almost like the sacred trust of your company as well as we're here protecting kids. So the vision and the mission, every day you see us safeguarding children, and suddenly there's an energetic connection to it, right? And Bernie, to address your question, when people get that, there's a real psychological safety. There's a lot of flexibility and room in there to go to your point, Kylie, where they can feel, I can contribute here.
Yes.
But I know the whole platform. The platform is about the preciousness of childhood, and that every day we're safeguarding kids, and our vision is to be the go-to resource in this country in the next 12 months for play therapy. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I asked why play therapy? Because in the UK we had a thing a couple of years back called the Grenfell Tower disaster, which is a commission. In Australia you call it commission homes, these big large storage, but it's social housing they call it here in the UK, right? And it caught fire, and it was really, really shonky building practices, and this thing caught on fire, and a lot of people perished, and a lot of kids saw family members perish, right? And some of those kids were not put through the NHS CAMS program for 8 months, right? So this is a kid who's suffered a trauma, who 8 months later, they still haven't been assessed by a psychological unit. So our charity was set up to assess those kids within 48 hours. We could do that within 48 hours of that thing, right? And that's that preciousness. Everyone on my team, 154 volunteers, got that.
Yeah, nice.
Right? And over COVID, no one's getting paid, and yet they're working around the clock. How does that happen, right? Because they knew where we were going, they knew the vision,
and they wanted to be a part.
And they wanted to be part of it, and they had the flexibility to fit in there, and they felt safe enough to pick up on Bernie's point. They felt safe enough to actually jump in and say, "Hey, Andrew, I think we should do this," right? So I had ideas about what they should do, but I said, I want 3 ideas. That's it. Right? 3 ways that we could achieve this. And I've got ideas. I got an opinion, but what do you reckon? And they came back with the 3 big ideas, which became, if you like, our objective was to do this, but our key results, 3 big results that totally aligned to the mission and the vision, but everyone knew where we were going. I love this stuff, right?
Yeah, I do
so
too.
So my question to you, Kylie, I'm sorry I jumped in here. How do you get someone that clear on their vision?
Yeah,
what's the challenge, and
Well, 2 things. So there's probably 2 things that I get people to do, and I do a 2-day workshop on this stuff, okay, where I'm actually helping teams to get clear around their vision, their mission, their purpose first, okay, values, okay. Then we get into what are the goals, what are the objectives, what are those 3 big, hairy, audacious goals, and then what are our measures, and then move it down to strategies and initiatives, and helping the business get clear, whether that be the overarching business or even the teams within the business. That's important. And I think I'll even add to that in relation to that psychological safety that Bernie's talking about. There's 3 levels to psychological safety, okay, in order for the team and you to feel safe. And I actually think, and I know we're going to be running out of time soon, but I think we should talk about that.
I think
like on another episode as well, okay, because I think there's so much psychological safety. And
you've got to give me a heads up, though. Give me a heads up. I want to know the 3 things right now. I want to know.
Yeah, well, the very first level, like think of it in rungs of a ladder. Okay, so the first level is 1, do I feel safe to actually, share my feelings and thoughts with someone within the team. Okay, the second part is, do the team now actually make me feel safe in order so ask me for ideas and questions and thoughts.
Yep.
And third rung is really all around, can I challenge and everyone accept that this is purely for the good of the team? Okay. Yeah. So it is that, ability to have healthy conflict within it. So let me challenge you on this, and you won't take it as offensive. You'll just go, wow, that's a great idea. I never thought about it like that. Okay. There's also, I've got a great, and this for anyone listening, I've got a great questionnaire that I often give to leaders, because I think what happens is people assume that people feel safe in their team. Oh, yeah, my team are more than happy to come up and talk to me and tell me stuff or challenge me or question my ideas. But I often find actually in many situations people aren't. So I've actually got a 10-question psychological safety questionnaire. I didn't design it, by the way, so I'm happy to share who designed that. And for the life of me, I can't remember. But it was done by a psychologist that actually created it. And it's a really great questionnaire for leaders to go out, and they can do it so that they don't know who is actually answering those questions. And you can really determine whether or not you have psychological safety in the team. I might say, and I'm sure you'll agree with this though, Andrew, is psychological safety is hard to achieve. It's not something that we can just do a little team building exercise and then all of a sudden we've got it. It can take months and sometimes 12 months working extensively with a team to really get that top level of that psychological safety, where you've just got this beautiful high-performing team that feels so trusted with each other that every decision or challenge they make is always for the good of the team. But you've got to have that vision, mission, purpose in the beginning to actually have that there. It's a great... Maybe that's our background inside as well that makes us love it so much. I don't know whether or not we've lost Andrew or not.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Yeah. It's whether people are following that, right? So I've been out on really, really, really hard end sites in the mining industry. I worked in the mining industry, right? And the question is, who do you respect and who do you follow on this site, on a really, really high end, dangerous site, right? And part of that is that they feel they can challenge that leader, but it's that leader's created an environment where they can be challenged. And and the point you're making is for the good of particularly, let's say, the safety of men and women on that mining site.
Of course, yeah. I love it. So we're 20 minutes in now, and I know we could just keep on talking, but
easy.
Let's is there any final point that you might want to give to the leaders out there listening around where they should first start around vision?
Yeah, really, really simple, right? And that is, firstly, don't look it up, write down what the vision is, and then go ask your people, what's the vision for this company, right? And see whether they're engaged in it emotionally or not. You see, the charity thing, it's a hard end one, but I didn't want people on my team who really didn't feel the importance of what we're up to, right? Yeah. They couldn't pay it lip service. And I said, if you're paying lip service, you can't be part of this team, because this is, this is a really, really big thing we're doing here, right? You can get that with any. It doesn't have to be a high-end charity, but you've just got to be on fire for what you're up to. So my challenge to leaders is, what's your vision? Where do you reckon? Like, do you love your vision statement? That if you've got one, what is it, and do you love it? And what is it you love about it, right? And really talk that out with you, firstly on your own, and work with someone like Kylie to. I reckon you'd be tough as nails on vision, wouldn't you?
I am because, and I guess my advice or my thoughts around this is, you know, even if you've got a company vision, okay, fine, that's all. But if you are leading a team, okay, your team must have a vision statement, a mission statement, a purpose statement, goals, key measures, etc. Okay, so I always like the leaders to at least give me some vision statement, okay, and then I like them to socialise that with the team, and the team to go, yep, that works for me. That's what we do. That's where we're going. That's the flag on the hill. So thank you, Andrew. Thank you for the first session of Leadership on the Lounge. We're going to do every fortnight.
Yeah. And I would say, if you can watch this on replay, you actually gave a really nice structure of how what you're actually looking for as a coach at the level you play at. You really unpacked that structure. So if you missed it, you're going to have to go back and watch it again, because it was really clear.
Yeah, it
really
is.
Clear. Yeah.
Triangle. So again, for anyone that gets a bit stuck on that, reach out to Andrew, reach out to myself. We're always more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Exactly. Yep. And we're away. We're off. We're running. There we go. Boom.
Yeah.